I'm from Planet Earth. My name is EVOL E or Eric. That's EVOL, spelled backwards because I'm full of it. Originally I'm from Ontario, but I've been back and forth to BC since the 80s. I've always loved Victoria. I came back here in 2014. Held an awesome job for a number of years, learned a lot of new skills, branched out on my own. COVID hit. A year and a half later, I found it hard to make ends meet and ended up in a tent last September. I do work for myself. By no means am I lazy. And when I first came out, when I first ended up in Central Park, I was doing a few jobs, which turned out to be extremely difficult because getting up early in the morning, leaving for work, putting in a full day, getting home late at night, later in the evening, trying to find a shower, trying to find, like a spot where I could shower in the evening, and be able to work and have some sort of sense of normality was extremely trying and it was hard and it was very difficult to do. Central Park was good. I kept to myself quite a bit. I didn't meet a lot of the people until we came over here after getting flooded out. But I did notice bylaw dictating to people, leaving notes on their tent saying if they're not here between a certain time, like let's say 8:30 and 2:30, then if they're not there, then they would lose all their stuff. I came back to my tent one morning at 9:15 and they had like seized half of my stuff, wouldn't give it back to me. They said it was being impounded, yet I went down to City Hall where they told me, and then City Hall directed me to bylaw. Bylaw directed me back to City Hall. I never did get my stuff back. It cost me, I lost like multiple hundreds of dollars worth of work pants, work boots, then my bedding, it wasn't cheap. And yeah, they wanted me to schedule my life around their schedule. If I'm not here between 8 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock in the afternoon, then they're going to come and take my stuff, right? So I got, how is someone supposed to have a job? How is someone even supposed to look for a job? How is someone supposed to, go get something to eat when they're scared that all their possessions, which usually aren't very much, but the things that you do have, are usually pretty important. If I came into your backyard and took your barbecue, I get charged with theft. Yeah, they seem to be able to do it with impunity. Not to mention when I did come across them seizing my stuff, they got half of it. The rest of it, because I came there and started yelling at them to leave it alone, and then I got directed to a spot in the park. This police officer, he's like smirking at me while I'm, of course I was angry, packing my stuff up to move it. He had the audacity to tell me to get a job. I was like, he doesn't know me worth shit. And then on top of that, as I'm walking back and forth across the park, I'm going to pick up my last bit of stuff, and I'm walking through the bylaw officers as they're crossing the park, and he decides to give me a shoulder check and then threaten me saying, try that again and see what happens. I understand they do have a rough job. They do deal with a lot of, they're not social workers, but they do like quite a bit of social work, dealing with a lot of people that are on the street, and there's a lot of different issues that they deal with, and we were lucky that we did have someone film the flood right before Christmas, which made the city look bad, because it did get media attention. So the city had to act. Other than that, we wouldn't have had, like what we have now, which is, it's a lifesaver. I don't know how someone could, live with their 7 till 7 like bylaw where you have to, have your camp taken down, bring it with you all day, and then, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. I don't choose to be in a tent. It happened. I do the best that I can in it. I'm extremely grateful for the way the outpouring of support that's happens, because of that flood.
Can I interrupt for a second?
No, you can't.
Here.
Go send on. No, I'm just kidding.
The family's here and would like to spend a moment with the memorial.
I'm gonna
Thank you, and I grab the candle.
What you're wearing is the EVOL E.
What?
Your
No, it's a Confederate.
It's
Like I said, I'm totally politically incorrect all the time.
Very politically incorrect.
Yes. Okay, I think
So
I
are
covered.
you a Trump supporter?
Fuck no.
Well,
There's
then
a
why are you wearing a Confederate flag?
Because I'm a rebel. Central Park was a little bit more, we had a little bit more privacy. We were spread out further from each other. Here, we're like right on top of each other. And that's what's really impressing me about how together this community has become. Yeah, we got politics, you know, yeah, we got soap opera shit going on. But all in all, it is running, like going extremely well. I've dealt with smaller groups of people with way more drama than what's going on. And when you look at this, the type of people that are here, there's a lot of different issues. You'll find a lot of strong-minded, strong-willed people in this community, and for us to be able to get along the way that we have been, I'm proud to be a part of it. What I don't like is the way bylaw. They've mellowed out now, but it's been a continuous fight, keeping them. Like just asking for respect. That's all I've ever asked from them, is show us a bit of respect. Don't come in here and dictate to us. We did lose one person, and that was extremely sad. He wasn't a regular user. Ben was a great guy. He passed away inside his tent during a time when the camp is buttoned down for the night. You know, people are like hunkered down, especially in the cold weather. And yeah, we didn't find him until later that night. He, passed away at least 12 hours, and yeah, it really sucked. But that's, I'm just glad I did get a chance to spend a little bit of time with him.
I really loved him too.
Yeah, he was a great guy, because Ben was probably one of the most employable people that was here. He was a number of the security guards' boss for a number of years, and he was a great guy, We fell on some times, and we all have reasons why we're out here. Some, they vary, from person to person. Homelessness isn't an easy fix. It's not like one person or one everyone's here for the same reason. And other than that, the amount of calls this place has gotten, ambulance visits have been like nil. I think we might have had 1 or 2 ambulance visits, and it was not like nothing major or serious. Like, we haven't had ODs, we haven't had people like stabbed or beaten up or stuff. So I got to say, like, it's been a communal effort, like, for the people that have joined together and made it what it is, and then all the outside help. It's touching, it's humbling. I don't know like how to thank the amount of outpouring of support from the neighbors, from the neighborhood, from like I don't know how to put it in words. Like, it's been amazing. It's I've never seen this much support, this many good people that actually care, coming out and helping. I get stretched pretty thin. Like, I'll walk across the compound and get pulled in 10 different directions before I even can go to the bathroom in the morning. But that's because I chose to get up and help the next person. There's one neighbor that has allowed me to charge the batteries for my drill that allows me to do work for people in here to make their lives better. We had an outpouring of support after a number of the windstorms. Neighbors coming out and helping us, like, put the camp back together, because the wind has decimated us a number of times. Another thing that pisses or angers me is when I read or hear politicians talking, saying that people are migrating to Victoria to be homeless. That's a crock of shit. I have yet to meet someone that came here to live in a fucking tent. That traveled to Victoria to live on the street in a tent. I lived here for over 5 years, and I ended up in a tent. Like I say, a lot of people are one or two paychecks away from this situation.
And COVID has exacerbated.
Exactly.
Where the hidden homeless became unhidden.
That's right. Like I said, I've been outside since September. I worked for myself, I worked for other company. It's new to me. Some of these people have gone through 2 and 3 moves before this. I've made myself open and available to people, and I'm, you know, whether it's 6 in the morning, I'm not too happy about it, but I'll jump up and help anyone, you know, if their tent's collapsing or if they're leaking water or whatever, you know, like, I don't mind. Grew up outside Ottawa in the Ottawa Valley. I grew up in the country on 200 or 350 acres of land. I was brought up well. You know, my parents are educated. My brother, I have 2 older sisters, a younger brother. I left home when I was 14. That was the first major life decision I made. And looking back at it, I wouldn't change a thing. It was an eye-opener to go from a little country boy at 14 to the big mean streets of Toronto on Yonge Street. I made it out alive. I'm quite happy with the way I grew up. My blue sky, I'm living it. I don't want to change anything. You know, tomorrow's like, you know, a new chapter, new page. You know, I've enjoyed life. I've lived it on my own terms. Don't have any regrets. I got no remorse. Everything I've done has made me who I am today. I don't apologize for nothing.